not be presented this evening.
Why is it so dark? In the beginning, it is always dark.
Welcome to the Intergalactic House of Toys. Today, we're going to be talking about something awesome. Well, actually kind of depressing, really. So, it's more of a cautionary tale in the toy industry. And it's kind of the reason why I stopped collecting toys altogether. Well, stopped collecting Star Wars toys when I was a kid. So the story goes, back in 1985, I used to love the Star Wars stuff, and you know, I love the 3 3/4 stuff, like a little AT-AT friend here, you know, say hi. Ooh. But the problem was I couldn't afford this stuff. My parents couldn't afford this stuff. And as much as I love the 3 3/4 scale action figures, they were kind of out of my budget, except for on Christmas. Maybe my birthday I would get one. But there was hope. I would save up my allowance money for the week for doing chores around the house and stuff, and I would bike my bike up to Service Merchandise or Richmond Gorman. They were like discount department stores near where I lived, and there they had the micro line of Star Wars figures. They were little lead figurines, and probably not very safe. Probably gave me the tism. But they had lots of cool vehicles. You could get X-Wings. You could replicate the Battle of Hoth almost identically. And so I would bike up there every week after doing my chores, and I would pick up a box or a new action figure, and I was able to collect nearly all of them over the course of a year. I had them all set up in my bedroom, and I planned it all out and tried to make it as accurate as I possibly could to the movie. So, well, needless to say, I got to a point where I was almost done, but there was something missing. What could that be? The AT-AT. So at the time, they never released an AT-AT. And I waited and waited and waited. And then one day they just discontinued it. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? I love the wargaming and I love the scale. And it was the coolest thing ever. So I packed it all up and I was like, okay, I'll get it out later when they eventually release it. Because eventually I figured they had to come up with an AT-AT walker, you know. Because obviously this monstrosity wasn't going to work. And it was like $500 back then if you count for inflation and stuff. Hold on, so let me put it down for a second. So all they really had was this guy here. This was a model kit, but the problem is the scale was off. It just didn't look quite right. See, look right there. And then they made them. They came out with a Micro Machine one, and look at that. That's like dinky. And then they gave you different color Micro Machine, but still look at the scale. It just didn't look right. And then later, Disney, of course, got involved, and they came up with this monstrosity. I mean, just look at this thing. It's sad, really. But then finally, after all these years, 30 years later, that box has been sitting in my corner, collecting dust. They finally did it. Hasbro finally did something right. I've swore off buying Hasbro and Disney merchandise since, well, we all know what happened, so we don't need to get into that. But to Hasbro out there, listen to me. This thing was ingenious. And I'll tell you why. Because it's damn near the perfect scale for the Micro Edition Star Wars line from back then. So I can finally, after all these years, complete it. And so today, we will finally complete it. But not just complete it. I'm going to set it up exactly the way I had it set up when I was a kid. So, I hope you enjoy. But yeah, thanks. This thing's actually pretty cool. But yeah, this fits in the scale almost perfectly with the Micro line. And it's got cool laser functions. Very cool stuff. Very cool. Snow speeder here. And it had its own little breakaway function. And we had the X-Wing. And wings could go up and down on it. It had a little cockpit. It could go up and down. And it had an explodey function as well. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool. And there were cool things. I used to use the Rebel transport from the 3 3/4 line, because back then you could actually get this pretty cheap. It was pretty common. People use it as a troop carrier, and like it's almost a perfect scale for the little guys. So I use that for the diorama. These, like the Millennium Falcon here, had all these cool little quirks, little hatches and doors and exploding bits. You could get all your guys in there. It was pretty well detailed too. You can get the little ramp going on here. A little Han Solo. But yeah, you could have a lot of fun with a green screen with one of these. But there you go.
Maximum firepower. All troops will debark for ground assault. Prepare to target the main engine. Target maximum firepower. Target maximum firepower. All troops will debark for ground.